Hello, everyone. I kinda did not manage to finish my dinner.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
pretty good. You have another day off?
No, but I decided I should make an effort to join this stream anyhow. I'm
Oh,
going to be working in the evenings. Like I said, I'm well ahead of schedule this time.
nice.
I should be
Fair
able to
enough.
bang this sucker out inside of a few evenings. I see you've been playing Everhood.
Yeah, for some reason yesterday I felt really wanting to play some rhythm games.
Sure.
So I was like, you know what? Still didn't beat Everhood.
How have you been finding it so far? And how deep in are you?
I beat the purple wizard, purple mage.
Purple Mage, yeah, one of according to a lot of playthroughs I've seen, the first enemies players have real trouble with.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
beat
didn't.
it. Yeah, I beat it in the first try. So
But did you see what the gimmick was?
yeah,
Every time you take a hit, it like goes 5 to 7 seconds back in
yeah,
the song.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to avoid damage entirely, even though its attack pattern's pretty basic to make it through it all.
So,
That apparently really messed with a lot of people.
I mean, my trick was just don't get hit at all.
Yeah.
I
there you
really
go.
I noticed the gimmick maybe like 5 seconds before the end of the game and the end of the song because I got hit once. But other than that, I really had no problem.
So
Wait,
that means you've already seen the garbage can boss battle, right?
yeah, that one was the hardest one so far for me.
Really?
Yeah.
It was trash.
Hey, potato.
Hey, potato.
Hello.
Yeah, it was trash. I hope I saved. God damn it. Yeah, I think
I
I
have a
saved.
feeling the next episode of the podcast is just going to be devoted at least like 60% of its runtime to me and Potato gushing over Psychonauts 2.
Oh God, Brady. So
It's so good.
I'm
It's
in the
so
questionable area now,
good. Yes.
and I think Sam is one of my favorite characters right now.
Yeah, that's Dogen's big sister.
Yeah, just like that. No one's getting sick of my pancakes unless one of you jukes has them on their hands.
I love how all the adorable woodland creatures have palpable terror on their faces throughout the entire sequence.
And she's talking how she's good with animals, and the rabbit is just rolling her eyes.
Now, by contrast, their grandfather genuinely loves animals.
Yeah, well, he can talk to them, right?
They all can. Yeah.
Ah,
It's a
okay.
family thing.
So, Potato, what stages have you completed so far?
Well, this is my first time in the questionable area.
Okay,
I've,
so
gotten to
you've
the
met
point-
the Quados.
Yeah. And I'm just exploring the questionable area before I go and do the Aquados conversations and everything else.
Lemony Life, hello. Good evening.
Hi,
and welcome to
Lemony
the
Life.
stream.
What's up? God
Hope
damn
you're
it.
doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, this first one is gonna be a throw anyways because I'm completely, out of practice since 2 days ago.
So, according to general fan perception, that I may be horribly misremembering from like a year ago when I looked into this game's boss design and overall encounter design because I'm a nerd. The humanoid enemies or bosses that are roughly your own size are among the hardest, if not the hardest, in the entire game.
Yes, definitely.
Lemony Life says, still haven't started building those shelves.
Really? Oh my god. Oh, by the way, this is my real friend Anna. She was
lovely.
here. She was here in Munich when I said to you guys that I have friends over.
Of course. Well, good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad you're here.
But
Eat
I have
shit.
questions. Well, okay then. I won't.
I mean, you can ask your questions after you eat shit. Shut up, Pippo.
She says I brought her the chai latte. There you go.
So the question is, you said she's your real friend. Oh, are we not? Are we not your real friends?
You're my imaginary friend.
Eat shit.
Well,
Wait
I'm
a
eating a
minute.
ciabatta, close enough.
So, to
Bon
give you an
appetit,
idea as
Luna.
to how deep into my papers I've been, I just now got that. What the fuck?
Wow, Brady. Wow.
You know, I think I might be able to live forever if I just never realize I'm dead.
That's actually a good strategy.
Luna says dinner's ready way before it should. BRB. That's a good thing, though. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. It allows you to get your food in you, have it digest before you lay down to try to get some sleep. That's healthy, man. Mm-hmm. Anna says, you're the voices in her head. She just gave you a microphone. Oh, I've never claimed to be anything more than a voice, a disembodied, incorporeal voice bound by the internet.
Does that mean that I can mute you, like, from my head?
Go ahead and try.
Yeah, go ahead. Nice.
Wow, that sounded like a threat.
Also, yes. But
Luna says,
also,
back with
Brady,
2 chicken burgers. Wow.
also Brady, your last stream, you kind of disproven the point that you're a disembodied voice because we saw that you have a face.
Paid
Well-
actor, man.
Yeah, also we saw just half of his, like, torso, so technically he might not have legs and we don't know. So he might
might
be
be
a
a
disembodied
ghost.
torso.
He might
might-
not be disembodied, just half-bodied.
Half-bodied, yes.
Oh, the Dark Souls
Yes,
2
okay.
community would have a field day with that. What about, like, in Psychonauts 2, the High Rollers room in the hospital having the pews replaced with wheelchairs?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and I have to ask Potato, what did you think of the Luctopus boss battle?
Oh, it wasn't that difficult.
No,
Although
but really
the
good,
first,
right?
The first time I did the mechanics was purely by accident. So when I got into the second phase of trying to hit her to drop the cards, I didn't know what to do. So it took me like a minute or two to figure it out. But yeah, it was actually pretty fun.
Much more involved and much better than anything we saw in the first game, right?
Oh yeah, it's not just like a tank and spank. It actually required you to like think a bit.
Almost
But
like
not
a
difficult.
late game Zelda boss. Yeah, no, not difficult. From what I've seen so far, though, the game's bosses are really, really, really good.
How many bosses did you beat after I left?
So I've been playing off stream, just because
Of course.
I can't help myself. And so far I've seen technically 3. They're not in every stage, but the ones that are present are complex. They kind of remind me of like late game Zelda bosses in terms of their complexity and phases, and they're really, really good.
Nice.
And I will say, right off the bat, I found a stage that blew Black Velvetopia out of the water in terms of aesthetic design. Like,
The casino.
no. The casino was really nice, but there's something in the next series of quests, I won't tell you what, because I don't want to spoil anything, that completely blew my mind. And my first thought was, oh man, next time my dad comes over, I have to show this to him.
Okay.
Okay,
Look
we're
at you,
so
Seth.
close. Yeah, but this is the hardest part because I have to take care of both of them because you know what? When you can't beat them, get your sister to... Oh, never mind, I beat him.
Did she just kill him before disappearing herself?
That seemed like it.
Looked like she struck him with a bolt of lightning and he exploded.
Yeah, that's how it looked like. Requiem Aeternam.
Welcome to the back half of the game now, sir.
Woo! You have acquired. Did it say
Taranto to my
Tarantino?
sister.
Oh.
No, Taranto.
Okay.
It's a type of song or poem, a song, I believe. Shall we see what it does?
Let's see. Plea to the storms, intoned by dry throats and
Ooh.
shaking voices, calls forth blazing rays that pierce the clouds, striking down nearby enemies. Hello,
You got their
best
lightning
friend.
ability.
Oh, and but I can only apparently I can use it twice. It takes a lot of mana, which is okay. I mean, I'm gonna try it out on the first set of enemies that I see. So far, I gotta say, I'm loving this game. I really am. I'm
Yeah,
loving
I've
it
been
so
enjoying
much.
what I've seen of it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so much that I was thinking of this weekend, if I have the time, to maybe start streaming, like, as a side project, Castlevania games.
Yes, I'd definitely be on board for that.
Just because, like,
Same.
oh my god, I just love them.
Aluna asked,
Castlevania
did you
games.
kill him? Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Hey, Cookie.
Howdy.
Hi, Cookie.
It's Cookie.
Dum dum dum.
Cookie.
I should make like some scary, creepy noises every time I enter, just to see how I
Yeah.
can make that better.
No,
Those
just
are
the
no,
cookie
it's
crunch
cookie.
noise.
Yeah. Should make one of those. Cookie will enter into this cookie crunch sounds.
Yeah.
I smell cookies here. How are we?
Pretty good, you?
Yeah. Got my new job, which I'm quite happy about, I would say.
Nice.
Lovely.
But well, it was twice the pay, so I'm not gonna complain about that. It's just all the stuff I have to do for September, because I have to like do all the extra work of everything just to make things that work the way they should. So it'll be a busy month.
Okay, well. Are you working
They're more
remote or
fun.
from the office?
I got work remote.
Mm.
It's still, everything I do is still sitting at home and working. I can go to the office if I want to, which is
Yeah.
sometimes peace and quiet. But it's all good. What about you guys?
I am still full time at my house office.
Your house office.
Yes, my chair.
I work
I
from the
mean,
office,
it's-
and today I fell
I-
asleep around 5 times.
Wait, what?
Well,
What?
all right.
I don't know. I had a lot of work to do, and then I didn't. And I was bored, and I was just staring at the screen, and all of a sudden, like 5 minutes has passed. I don't
That
know.
logic makes sense, Potato. It's like, oh, today I have loads of stuff to do, so I was tired, so I just had a nap. Because I had
Yeah.
loads
No,
of
no,
work to
no.
do.
I like did the work, and then I had a period of time where I had nothing to do,
I got
so-
you. I got you.
and it wasn't my plan to fall asleep, but things happen, you know.
Like you.
Mm.
Oh,
Go on.
go ahead.
The awkward silence. Okay, I'll go. I was gonna say that I can almost relate to what Potato said. So where we have now, me and Rich, the guy I'm working with as a developer, we've been playing on our PlayStation 5 for ages now. We've been playing Demon Souls. So we just took an extended lunch break for 3 hours on a business meeting and just finished the run through.
Wow. Are you gonna go for platinum?
I'm almost there. I'm actually almost there. Well, how far is it? What is that missing? So I finished the game once. Great game, by the way. Press that, I actually likes it. It's even more fun when you have a person that already are super powerful, and then you have to learn this. And a lot of people think, oh, that's easy, because then, all you need to do is just stand back. No. The challenge of doing that game as the platinum without standing back and have a guy that's OP play with you is that I have to sit and dodge everything, and I still have to go through harder stuff, which is not meant for me, without dying.
Demon
Yeah.
Souls is also largely bereft of the kind of just outright slugfest fights that later Dark Souls games tended to favor until 3, at least. There's a lot of gimmicks, there's a lot of things that require a greater degree of player involvement or puzzle solving, so even if you're not like in the fray of combat, so to speak, you've still got to be doing things.
Yeah. So far for the platinum, I'm missing to vanquish the Dragon Gold with the Hands of Gold. We found out that I could have done that. I did have the Hands of Gold, but the thing is, he had the killing blow and not me. So I was hitting him with it, but you need the actual killing blow to make it work. So we're like, oh, okay, we'll do that afterwards. Across the walkway through the Idols of Valley of Arrows, but that's just, as far as I know, the second ending, or the second out of 3 endings, or whatever it is. So, the other ending. Embrace the power of the other one, which is the other one. I have to find Eastereel and You're the Witch, and then I have to get all the rings and spells and stuff like that.
Which would mean, let me see, outside of things you probably already done, completing Mephistopheles content.
Yeah, so what we've done is I slayed all the Slayer of Demons things is done. I vanquished the Tower Knight without killing any archers. I
Oh, that must be
vanquished
kind of
the full-
tricky.
Yeah, it's really tricky. He goes down and go tank the shit out of him, and I stand in the corner, just put my shield up, and then die.
Oh, nice.
That's how hard it is. And then it's vanquished the fool without any clothes. I did that one. Vanquished the Adicetta without having him fall down. That was also really easy because all I did was stand in the corner, put my shield up, and he just jumped down and killed him. So yeah, it's some clever use of game mechanics we can use if you have friends to play with. But we're getting there on it. We're doing that. We're currently doing 3 separate games together. So we're doing Diablo 3, we're doing Demon's Souls, and we're doing Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
Ghost
nice.
of
right on.
Tsushima,
I love Ghost of Tsushima.
Motherfucker!
Almost.
Sorry.
No, I agree, Seth. Exactly.
Seth
That's what I was
doesn't.
going to say. There we go.
Luna
she
asks,
said.
what's wrong with Beppo?
Unfortunately, there was an angry Chihuahua that was passing by, ignoring Beppo, and Beppo just was not having it. So he decided to let the entire neighborhood that there was somebody passing.
Right.
You gotta warn the people about the chihuahuas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
I can see that Steph just open her window, go like, guys, I just want to let you know if you hear this dog, it's just a Chihuahua. It's not an earthquake. There's nothing dangerous. It's just a Chihuahua.
Exactly. Okay, can I go this way? Can I?
What are you playing?
I'm playing Blasphemous. I
It
think
is
it
a-
came last year.
No, ma'am, it's been out for some time now. However, I believe either this particular port or this version, complete with certain free DLCs, was released last year. Blasphemous is a side-scrolling Metroidvania, very, very vaguely Souls-like game, heavily inspired by the beautiful, oftentimes haunting, architecture and practice of Spanish ascetic orders from roughly the late Middle Ages.
Oh, I like that. That's
Some
cool.
bosses look really disgusting. Like I was fighting this charred face. Literally, it was a head floating around. That
Our
was
Lady of
completely
the Charred Visage. Yeah, so her lore was she was a woman so kind and so beautiful that people were worshipping her, like locally, as a folk saint. But as is characteristic of people in Custodia, was also extremely devout, and so was very uncomfortable with that. So she took boiling oil and/or gold and poured it over her face to disfigure herself so that she wouldn't be so venerated.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
I was going to say on the note of that, since we're doing it, in case you don't know, me and Steph normally have to dig each other when we're playing games, so, excuse me if I suddenly sit and say something half insulting to Steph here when she plays or face plants or whatever you want to put it in as.
Oh, don't worry. She's used to it from me not being half insulting, but being like full insulting.
Full
You
insulting.
used to do it to me when we were playing Guild Wars.
We've already got-
You crumbled.
We already got like a
no.
commentary angel, commentary devil mechanic running with the panel, so that's par for the course.
I still think back when I was watching Seth play Ill Demon's Souls and went like, I at least didn't get scared to jump off on that thing. I at least lived.
Wow, thank you, Cookie.
You're welcome. Well, you did it more or less solo though. I didn't. I co-opted it.
Yeah.
It's clever use.
I mean, that makes it more fun, I would say. Like, doing it with someone so you can rage in pairs. No!
Hey, again, she
Yes.
face plants.
Ooh,
But-
that's
yeah,
an
no,
instant
yeah.
death, even though there's a screen right below. That's really rough, honestly.
Very much so, yes.
I think that when you say like playing co-op, we actually found out that we were playing the first game we did was Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I kind of started on the journey on it. And what I kind of found out is there's 2 separate ways of playing the games. You can play it solo, which is fine, but it's so much more fun to just play with a friend because as the low-level player, I have to always keep up my guard, always stay away, always learn how they work, and you still get some decent progression in it. And then there are certain mechanics and certain bosses and certain things you have to learn and do on your own, which
Yeah.
then by the time all you've done is defend yourself, you get up for a really good challenge. A couple of times where you just, oh, I died. Whoops.
Whoopsie daisy.
So, yeah, whoopsie daisy. Oh, should hit that
For the
one.
Chalice dungeons, co-op is more or less mandatory.
Yeah, no, we sat, we even found a great, oh, what's she called again? There is, so I actually have the platinum for Bloodborne.
Killing Yarnum.
Well, so I have
Bloodstone
the-
Yarnum.
So I have 100%
But-
and a platinum. So the platinum is just the game,
Right.
but I also did the DLC with him as well, which is to the hardest one I think, which people mostly struggle with, is
Lady Maria.
Yeah, took her out. I am. Oh, what's that witch called again? That person that you keep talking to out in the courtyard, and if you attack her, she'll try to kill you. She used to be. Oh, I have to find out what her name is now. Some trophy for it.
Oh, good lord.
Person you meet, so at the end, after you, I was gonna say, turn the world around when everything turns, and you can walk
Mhm.
up some really long base of stairs. I think you're inside a church.
You mean
when
Eileen the
start.
Crow?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, killing
A
her
hunter
on your
must
own.
hunt.
Yeah, Hunter must hunt. She's really fun because he was saying like, yeah, try give her a nudge. I give her a nudge and just like, oh look, I died. Yeah, okay. And then we stuck in the problem that the guy that helps you can't attack him, can't touch him, can't do anything, and he can't take aggro, can't do anything. And here you are like, and they scale. So because he was in the game, she's like 7 or 8 times the amount of what I am. Just got obliterated.
Wow.
Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, did you beat Blasphemous? No, we're
Not
in the
yet.
back half of the game. But good evening. Thanks for joining
Hi.
us. Hope you're doing well.
I'm gonna be right back.
Alrighty.
I'm really enjoying myself with Blasphemous, to be honest. Like, I'm in no rush to finish it fast. I want to enjoy the game, like, properly.
Yeah, we
Now,
can
do you
see
maybe-
that you're in no rush, but you are in rush to drop down the ladder every fucking
Shut
time.
up, Potato.
Do you maybe want to kite the Wraith on? Yeah, there you go. We're probably going to have to do this several times on this screen, knowing this game.
Yeah, because
Oh.
she's gonna drop herself a couple of times.
I also meant to ask, so I'm caught up. Potato, how far did you get in Dark Souls 3 on stream?
Well, you were here the last time I played it, weren't you?
I
haven't
don't
played it
believe so. I
afterwards.
missed one stream. I
Are
was
you
not here Monday.
Oh, then maybe you have. Oh yeah, you weren't there. That's why I was struggling so much. I didn't have my trusty guide.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make it whenever you stream next.
It's fine, Brady. I killed. What was the last boss I killed?
Crystal Sage?
Yeah, I think so. She's the 4th one, right?
She's the mage that teleports around the arena and uses crystal magic.
Yeah.
I love that fight.
Yeah, she wasn't too difficult. I had pretty much the route to her cleared out, but I had like two Estus flasks.
So you've also met Dark Souls 3's version of the crows.
Oh, yeah, the birds. The ones that you
Corvian.
said, yeah.
Yeah.
Potato said, like, oh, I remember, Seth, you hated these guys.
Yeah.
They're not too bad if you can attack them before they project their wings.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, doing fine myself. I beat Fallout 4 yesterday. Overall,
Oh,
great
nice.
experience. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But Sony released New Vegas on PS4, goddammit. Hopefully with a few hot fixes.
Yeah.
And hello, Arianon, bringing those dad puns back to us. Good evening. Hope you're doing well.
Oh
Luna
my
says
god.
he won because I forced him to go to the bonfire.
Yeah, I had 2 Estus shards, flasks, and had the route pretty much cleared out to the boss, and then Luna redeemed points to make me go back to the bonfire. And then I had to go back to it all over again. It wasn't that tough. I think I killed her on the second try. The first one I just came in. No, well technically I came in, saw that it was a boss fight, homeward boned myself right to the bonfire, leveled up, and then went and tried again, and then fucking died.
Did you see what her soul can be redeemed for?
No, I have not been redeeming boss souls. I've just been like hoarding them.
So, well, no.
No,
you,
wait, I did
you got
check.
the
I did
Bloodborne
check.
ring, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So her soul can be redeemed for a spell, which, I think we might need for the platinum or something like that. But also a special crystal studded rapier that is one of the rare weapons in the early to mid game that scales largely with intelligence, giving casters a really solid, reliable, and durable melee option. That's also lightning fast. It's the same sword she used in close range. Let's see. Arianon says my first time using an elevator was an uplifting experience. The second one let me down, though.
Nice.
That kind of reminds me of Darth Vader's new bride. Did you hear about her, Brady?
No, I haven't.
Ella.
What?
Darth Vader's
Elevator.
new bride is Ella. Ella Vader. Right.
Anyhow, welcome to the mother of mothers. Let's replace all of that camp with outright disgust.
Mother.
We can talk about that. On
Dr.
that
Nefarious
note,
Handsome says, like, they only released 4 and 76 on PS4. It's like letting you watch the original Star Wars trilogy without letting me watch the prequels. I'm kind of missing the good part, guys.
Yeah. I
I
agree.
But hey, you've got a wide range of Bethesda titles available on PS4 if you're so inclined, like Skyrim, or the Skyrim Special Edition, or the Skyrim Complete Edition, or the upcoming Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition. So we've got options.
Don't forget the Skyrim Toaster Edition.
Right.
Skyrim Casio
Nintendo
Calculator Edition.
Skyrim Alexa Edition.
Skyrim Stream Deck Edition.
Skyrim Toilet Bowl Cleaner Edition.
That's all of them.
It'll send your soap scum straight to Sovngarde.
But wait a minute. We're passing over something very important here. Did Dr. Nefarious the Handsome just say that the prequels are the good part of the Star Wars saga?
Yeah, I decided not to engage that.
I can't. I do not have that kind of mental capacity to just
So,
get past that.
here's
Shame
where-
on you, sir.
hold
Shame
on.
on you.
Here's my stance on the prequels. The first film is okay. The second one is fucking terrible. Like probably the single worst film in the entire Star Wars cinematic canon so far, for my money. And the third is pretty good.
Well, see, the thing is, you say the first one is okay, but the first one it literally has no impact on any of the story. Like you could not watch the first one, and it has no difference. Makes no difference.
That's true. I'm just assessing these from the experience of somebody who would sit down and decide, is this a good way to kill 2 hours? Considering the visuals, the general audiovisual production and design of the film for the time it was released, it was pretty damn impressive. When you try to stitch it into the larger story, yeah, everything falls apart. But it, as a movie, as a way to kill a couple hours, is okay. The second film doesn't even have that going for it.
Can I ask a question? Because I'm going to leave in 5 minutes because I've got some students.
Yeah.
Right. What's the worst game you think you played?
Oh, I know the answer to that.
Yep.
Okay. So let's say it's broken in a way. What is it?
Okay. So the worst game I've played that I feel I can assign such a descriptor to, in all fairness, right? Instead of some little indie project by college kids who are just trying to come to grips with tech or something like that, where mistakes are really excusable, is a Souls-like for current gen consoles called Immortal Unchained, based very lightly, and I mean very lightly, on the Norse sagas. So like it's a sci-fi retelling of the events that lead up to Ragnarok. And by retelling, I mean they kind of just scraped the entire story off of the sagas and pasted it onto something that looks like a mix of stylistic elements from Destiny, Mass Effect, saw a little Warhammer in there. And by stylistic elements, Cookie, I mean we saw character models and designs that looked as if they had been ripped straight out of those games. Not as if, oh, that reminds me of something in Destiny. There were times during my first session where Potato and I were sitting there saying, oh, that's this exact enemy model from Destiny. We had one of the creators, like one of the creative leads, join our streams toward the end, and they claimed basically you couldn't really compare the game to Dark Souls, even though it ripped off all of Dark Souls systems uncritically, right down to being a gun-based game where you can shoot enemies in the back to deal additional damage. Not the head, not like exposed conduits, the back. You can backstab them with a gun, because that's something you could do in Dark Souls. The game is terribly unbalanced. Certain bosses, including the final boss, went down in about 7 shots from a certain weapon I had upgraded, but I also had standard enemies able to kill a late-game character in 2 or 3 hits because they dealt a disproportionately large amount of damage. Hey, Pot, thank you so much for the resub. How's it going? So, there's a lot wrong with it. And I agree with what a certain music critic I follow has to say about, like, quality. They said, and I've never forgotten this in, like, 10 years, bad is really the absence of good. And in my mind, there is not a single thing that redeems Immortal Unchained as a $20 plus purchase. There was a certain experience. Sorry, I know this is a long-winded, rambly answer, but just to give you an idea of what you might be in for if you want to subject yourself or friends to this, where I fought a late-game boss, an optional boss, only to immediately realize that they, like so many other bosses in the game, used a recolored and enlarged model of a standard enemy, replete with their entire moveset, unmodified, and were just a bullet sponge. But at that moment, I also realized, somehow missing it throughout the entire game, that wait a minute, that enemy was a recycled variant of the game's first boss, who also had the same model and moveset. The game and its design is so bloated. There's a lot of content, a lot of areas that all look alike and are 10 times as large as they should be without any kind of unique treasures or goodies or anything like that. It's a fucking slog through the same few enemy types over and over and over again with no real appreciable aesthetic differences save for one area where the enemies look a little bit different. And the fucked thing is, like Dark Souls, they wanted to integrate this broad sweeping lore that they totally stole whole cloth from Norse myth. And so they've got all these factions and all these worlds, all these concepts and characters moving about. But unlike Dark Souls, you never really get to see or fight any of them. So all of this lore is completely ancillary to your experience, which is basically shooting a bunch of NVIDIA-infused zombies until they fall apart or you do. It is abysmal.
I'm gonna say that I'm never gonna play that. I'll tell you mine before I jump in. So, this is actually a game I have platinum on the PlayStation 3, so back in the time. Now, bear in mind, when you play for platinums like myself, we only use like clever game mechanics. We don't really actually care a lot into the story and stuff. But you know, there's a certain element to like have a little bit of fun. Now, this game is built on, bear in mind it's PlayStation 3, so I'm not going to say the graphics are horrible, but to that year's standard, it looked like a cut and paste job or some Mad Max, whatever they stuck in there. But we actually found out the worst thing they ever did in this game, and that was if you ever were stuck. So let's make an example. Let's say you played like Tomb Raider, right? If you're stuck, you're like, I need to find a solution, check up a guide or anything. In this game, you don't need to. No. Don't need to check for a guide or anything. All you do to find your way out of any hard spot, if it is enemies or a place you can't go, is to wall jump. That's it. Like,
What?
that's the yeah. If you're stuck in a room, like you glitched out or something, or you got to a point like there was a boss you were playing against, what can you do? You find a wall and you can jump around him. And then since you then touched the other screen, you beat him. You haven't touched him even. All you did, wall jump.
So it's like flying in a Kirby game. Like you could just skip the entire thing.
Exactly. It was horrible. It's like it's one of those games where like, oh shit, I was sitting with my friend, they're like, oh no, I'm stuck now. Okay, let's see what we do. We'll just jump on this wall. Oh look, I got out.
Jesus Christ, what's the name of the game?
I almost said domination. It is not. It is. Let me find again. Did I say it in the start? Jesus.
Nope.
What now? It's so bad that I forgot it. That just says it, right?
Well, in the interim, let me get caught up on chat because there's quite a lot here. Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, yeah, but that's the problem. Fallout is the only thing I'm interested in from Bethesda because the atmosphere is so cool.
If you like the atmosphere, check out The Outer Worlds. It
By
has
Obsidian.
Yeah, by Obsidian. It has very similar atmosphere, and at least in my opinion, the games are better than the latest Bethesda titles.
And they also say
I'm
since all... Oh, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, Cookie.
Bye-bye. Was it? Anyway, I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care, man. They also say since almighty Microsoft bought Bethesda, so I'm kind of fucked. Well, hey, if you're talking about access to like the technology and all that, I totally get you. But I have one really, really bright light for all you guys. So Bethesda, obviously not. Microsoft has been buying up a lot of indie or like mid-range studios over the past few years to give themselves an edge in an exclusives market that really hadn't favored them for like 2 generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what I've seen of Psychonauts 2, which was produced, at least in the late stages, under their direction or with their support, I should say, they are doing a bang-up job of supporting their studios without dictating to them what their game should be. It's an incredible title, and I've actually got a lot of hope for Microsoft's handling of Obsidian and their other, more single-player focused indie studios. Pot says, look at those pizza-throwing monks. I like those enemies a lot, yeah.
I mean, look at this head-throwing guy. He has his head on a platter, and he's just eating it.
Well, no, he's like spawning other heads, like out of his neck, right?
Yeah.
Like out of the rough, it looked like. Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, that game sounds so horrible. It's like Dark Souls without the actual good parts.
But you can't compare it.
No, you can't compare it to Dark Souls.
Even though there is a secret dev room, or room with messages from backers or what have you, that contained explicit attributed quotes from the first Dark Souls.
Yep. But you can't compare it to Dark Souls. According to the creative guy.
I enjoy the Dark Souls games. You can't compare it to Dark Souls.
Oh god.
It's like comparing one of Kay's dinners to food.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's edible, but would you enjoy it? No, you wouldn't.
Lee would, apparently.
Well, you know, some people aren't right in the head.
Have you noticed, though, that in the Kay's cooking videos where she makes something that's relatively, like, you know, inoffensive looking, or seeming, Lee doesn't seem to like it?
Yeah.
Like, does he have bizarro taste buds, and that's why she's developed the kind of culinary oeuvre she has?
I mean, I think that she broke him when he was a kid.
Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, yeah, Microsoft's buying of studios is a big problem currently. Big problem in general with video game industry is big AAA companies hoarding small studios. Well, I don't think that's necessarily the case. It all has to do with how they manage them. If they micromanage these studios and force them to produce products beyond their like stylistic wheelhouse, kind of like Activision tends to do with a lot of their studios, forcing them to work on COD and other large multiplayer projects, regardless of whether or not that's that studio's strong suit. Think of EA with BioWare, for instance. Then yeah, that can be problematic. But if they act as a support and marketing arm that allow studios, within reason, to do what they're best at, or at least what they have an affinity for, and then try to profit off of that by getting it to as many people as possible, which is generally the model that like Nintendo traditionally followed. The model that Xbox honestly seems to be striving towards. That can be a good thing.
Or what Blizzard had at the beginning before Activision totally just went, keep making same shit because it works.
Pot says, Seth actually looking good. Vacation has done good for you.
Are you saying that I won't
Actually?
believe it? Yeah, like actually?
Dr. Nefariously Ansem says, thanks on Outer Worlds recommendation, by the way. It's
Oh, no
really good
worries.
for
Yeah.
what it is.
I am really looking forward to the second installment that's supposed to come, I think, next year.
Yeah. And I'll have to play the DLCs at some point.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
DLCs? Shit.
Yeah, there's
Play those.
2 DLC, I want to say.
Yeah, I need to get those as well.
Oh,
Don't have them.
yeah. Because I think I beat the whole game in like 2 days without
Yeah.
even sleeping.
Yes.
I slept, but same basic idea. Who did you side with, though, guys? This is important.
Wait, what were the options again?
So there were 5 factions, major factions, but you could basically form a coalition of whichever ones you wanted, unless you sided with the board. There was the board, the large starship, like the Independent Space Station, Monarch Stellar Industries, the Mafia, Sublight Contracting, or whatever,
The
and
space
the
station thing.
Iconoclasts.
Yeah, I think I also picked the station.
I went with the union of MSI and the Iconoclasts. Like the folks on Monarch who wanted to reform the system.
Yeah. I remember them.
Dr. Nefariously Ansem says, at least it's not multiplayer.
No, it's not.
If you mean there's no forced multiplayer, then yeah, that's a good thing. And Pot says, hey, I tried to write. I'm out of a nap just now. Words don't make sense.
Fuck you, pizza guy.
Words often don't make sense to me hours after I wake up, and I'm a professional educator, so no worries.
I hate these wraiths.
Yeah, it seems like the game's experienced a really significant difficulty spike in terms
Yeah.
of just standard combat here, right?
Yep, pretty much.
But I think you're almost done with this zone. Yeah, look at that.
I need a shrine, I need a shrine, I need a shrine. God damn it, I need a shrine. Oh, a door.
Oh, hey, maybe your prayers will be answered.
Restore health and bile vessels. Yes, please.
Yeah, go for it. That's pretty cheap at this point, right?
Yeah, 500. Really cheap.
Oh, a copy, I should be getting a copy of No More Heroes 3 today.
Ooh, nice, for the Switch, right?
Now, yes, I will be streaming that in its entirety. Something I found out from like the Psychonauts experience of some of my others is I don't think I'm that good at streaming narrative, and by that I mean like cutscene and dialogue heavy games
Yeah.
I'm not already very familiar with, because most of my commentary is just yes.
Interesting. Oh, Brady, so listen to this. Yesterday at work, somebody's laptop battery died. Wait, yeah, that was yesterday. So I ordered them a new one, and paid for delivery with Croatian Post.
Oh no.
It arrived today, delivered by someone who works for the company that sells the batteries, not the Croatian Post.
Yep.
They had to do it themselves.
Oh, speaking of post, a friend of mine sent me a new mug. Look at this. Love it.
Ew, people. Oh man, look at you. You've collected almost all of the bones, I think.
Oh, did I?
Luna says, observe.
Seth, the bone collector.
Wow. Wow, pot. Ato.
Yeah, there's Pot coming in right on cue.
There we
Beat
go,
you
yes.
to it, Pot. You slow ass bitch.
But by the way, Potato, when in Psychonauts, when you do make it to the mail themed stage, yes, it's exactly what I imagine a Croatian post office is like.
Oh god, I don't think I even have to imagine.
No, you really don't. Dr. Nefariously Handsome says it can be good, but there will be problems like with Hollow Knight Silksong. Nintendo did not buy them, but financed them, that's true. And because of that, it will only be on Switch and PC. Great for them, but for someone which Hollow Knight is my favorite game ever and only having a PS4, what do you think how that makes me feel? Well, yeah, I'm not saying there aren't issues with accessibility when it comes to console exclusives, but you have to consider games like Bayonetta 2 and now 3, or the Outer Worlds sequel, or the continuation of the Pillars of Eternity series, which sounds like it's going to be done as a first-person, like, deep action RPG, which I'm super excited for, which could only, for whatever it's worth, come about due to the patronage of more powerful commercial entities.
But as far as I'm aware, they said they wanted to put it out on the PlayStation and the Xbox, but what's stopping them is they don't have enough people to actually
Port it.
develop on every console, on every platform at once. I mean, they're probably eventually gonna port it.
Just as they did with the original Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
I can see that as well.
because
Pot says, shut
Hollow
up,
Knight,
potato, stream lag.
Hollow Knight
And-
released on the PS4 later, right? As a complete
PS4
like,
later?
edition.
And the Switch later. And also says, hee hee, deep first person deep action. Sure. Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, I heard Richard Horvitz voice the main character in Psychonauts 2, so I must give the game 10 out of 10. Oh, it deserves that for the level design alone, man. It's really, really creative. I'm a fan. The only issue I have so far, and it's a minor one, and which I shan't disclose in detail here for the benefit of our Tiro Tato, is that it handles its mental worlds and their integration into the main story a little bit differently, and it doesn't do the whole character exploration through emergent progressive like environmental storytelling quite the same way. And I say that's a problem, it just reveals one of my aesthetic preferences. On the whole, I think the game is much, much better than the first, which is already one of my favorite platformers of all time. If you want good creative games to be made, go ahead and pick up Psychonauts 2. They deserve it.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
And I'd much rather have a couple games like that released by different teams throughout the year than a lot of what we see from the big boys.
Yeah.
Like from the companies that could buy up those small indie studios, Microsoft is far from the worst one.
Right, and they seem to have learned from their relative lack of first-party success over the past couple generations, because they did just, obviously, based on what we've seen in Psychonauts 2, after they took over like patronage of the project, they let Double Fine do exactly what they wanted to do, just confident that it would bring in the money, which it has, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure what helped convince them was the fact that the crowdfunding campaign was a huge success.
Well, sure, but
So they were like,
doing-
oh, well, this is already bringing in money, so let's just, bring in more.
They're doing that with all of their indie studios, I'm pretty sure. Like, Obsidian is getting treated that way. Bethesda will probably be treated that way whenever they decide to make a second game.
Yeah, and there's really nothing too bad in them, like, owning those studios.
No.
As long as they don't, like you said, force them to make something they don't believe in.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, harass their employees.
Yes, of course. Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, just to be clear, I do not like any main studio. I just hate Sony the least and Nintendo the most. I don't hate any of them, to be honest with you. They're corporate entities. They exist to take or try to earn your money. Having
Yeah.
strong feelings about them, as Potato said, unless they explicitly condone horrific treatment of their employees, one way or the other doesn't really seem all that useful to me, but that's just me.
And if they're, like, blatantly scammy, as Bethesda kind of was with Fallout 76.
Or Bethesda is in general anymore. Yeah, like, I want to say at this point, if we were to divide the Elder Scrolls, like, library into 3 distinct categories, which would be mainline titles, side games, and Skyrim re-releases. I'm pretty sure Skyrim re-releases would comprise a plurality of their library.
Yep. Pretty sure there's more versions of Skyrim than there is of any other Elder Scrolls game put together.
And what about Todd Howard's ass saying like, oh, well, when you stop buying it, I'll stop re-releasing it?
Well,
The sad thing is, he's probably right.
Yeah, he's got a point. That's the worst thing, because people keep buying it. So
But I mean, he's openly admitting that he's doing it for the money, right?
Sure. And hey,
Yeah, I mean,
why shouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's what EA does with like FIFA and Call of Duties.
Those FIFA Legacy Editions are literally the same exact game re-released several years in a row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally the FIFAs are just like they change up the players depending on that year, who played, who retired, blah blah blah, and maybe improve the graphics a bit.
Have you seen what
Nothing else
IGN's
changed.
done with their reviews of the FIFA Legacy titles, though?
Did they
did they just,
re-release the
just
old
copy
reviews?
paste the reviews? Yeah.
Yes, but making it lower and lower every time. Like
Nice.
That's actually quite smart.
Yeah.
Dr. Nefariously Answer says companies are not literally soulless. There are people responsible for all that shit. They do not have a face, but intent they have in spades. Well, right, but I mean, to talk about them as a whole as if they have a kind of distinct Gestalt identity is sometimes a little problematic, I think.
And one could argue the people responsible are soulless.
Right. And a lot of times, as is the case with, say, Actabliz or things like that, the vast majority of people working for the company are good folks just trying to do their jobs and go to work in good faith. Bad actors are able to manipulate environments in really unsavory ways, and nobody does anything about it. But that doesn't mean everybody working for the company, or even the majority, share their values, if that makes sense. Think about Ubisoft as well.
I try not to.
If you want to hear more about our opinions, we actually have a gaming podcast that you can find on Spotify
Damn it.
and all the other things, but mostly YouTube. Potato
Sorry,
knows as
Brady,
soon as
I'm unbeatable now.
Yeah,
I know.
Potatoes posts before we even finish the sentence, so...
I told you it's all prepped on the stream deck.
Pod says, missed Seth's questionable gameplay decisions. I wouldn't say questionable here. There's just like these waxmen who can only be temporarily disabled, and
I'm
what
pretty
look like
sure-
a lot of environmental hazards.
I'm pretty sure that this entire design of this entire level I've seen in Castlevania with the waxmen and flying pictures.
Yeah, there is like a haunted portrait gallery in several of the games, right? Or like an art wing.
Yeah.
So it's a minor thing, but I absolutely love the fact that the statue's mace shatters when it reaches the ground, and then reforms as it raises the heft again.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Okay, let's try and going down and see what there is.
Well, there's a collectible there.
A body part?
Cash.
Oh, garlic.
Sooty garlic. So something that you would have to give to the Brotherhood of the Kissers of Wounds.
Probably, yeah.
Actually completing their quest line is really tough, apparently. Because you've got to give them, like, one spice after every boss battle, or something like that. At least you can duck under the axes. Whoa. These things, these hounds, seem terrible.
Oh, Brady.
Sir.
Have you, by any chance, bought the Psychonauts pin that lets you like pet the woodland creatures telekinetically?
No.
Do it.
Is it worth it?
For the memes, yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
for the memes. That's
I
what
do
matters.
Just
have
for the stuff Raz says while he's petting them. Yes.
the pin that colorizes all of my melee attacks with prismatic effects.
Oh, the rainbow something.
Rain blows.
Yes, rainbows.
It's so good. Man, again, you will know the like crazy far out stage I'm talking about when you reach it. You've got to equip the rain blows for that one.
I wanted to buy them at the time I didn't have enough
Titanium.
Titanium, yes.
And you know what? We had maybe some questions about the overall likability of the new cast yesterday. After what I've seen so far, I actually really like them all. They're written
Okay.
about as well, if not a little bit better than many of the characters in Psychonauts 1.
So they end up growing on you.
Many of them, yes. The
Like
one
malignant
intern,
tumor.
the one intern Norma is just horrible all around, but
Okay.
I kind of
this is
wanna,
something
you know,
quest related.
believe Norma is gonna be an enemy at one point and we get to kill her. I mean, knock her out.
I have no idea who the mole is so far.
Well, I mean, Norma is an anagram of mole, so. Yeah.
I can't say
I-
too much, Potato, because you haven't met several of my favorite characters yet. I mean, I love Ford Cruller, of course, but
Hey, Kriller so far has been unimpressive in this game.
trust me, you just wait until you get those pieces back.
Yeah, that's why I said so far. I don't know.
Pot says rain blows with rainbow effects. Say no more, Brady. I like colorful shit. You know that. The more
Oh.
garish, the better.
Just to show you guys what I made 2 days ago, this guy, and
Aw.
I am making a yellow version of this same guy. And if you want to buy this one or some others, feel free to check the Etsy.
A golden Baphomet.
I also have a green and pink one.
Whoa, hold on. I think I see a key at the far end of the row there.
There provides protection from toxic damage. No. Wait, what is? Oh, that's another vial.
Another bile vial.
Okay.
A vial of bile.
9999.
So much 9, it's almost 10.
Well, I can actually just farm a little bit of the enemies and get back.
Aye,
here.
aye.
Okay, wait, I'm not gonna get anything from these guys. Okay, I'm gonna go forward. Because I technically don't kill them, I just put them, I don't know. Oh no, why?
Oh Lord, more spikes. Jesus Christ. The game seems we talked about this before, Seth, but like it was especially apparent in Jondo. Compared to like the actual Castlevania series Metroidvanias we're familiar with, way more fond of platforming related challenges. Like just
Yeah.
pure platforming.
Definitely, yeah. Wait, should I go? Yeah, I'm gonna go here.
Yeah, because it might be a little bit harder to get back up there after you drop down.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
ho, ho, ho. That might be a rosary. Have you ever found the character that allows you to expand your rosary?
Nope.
Oh, shit. You should have been able to by now.
I probably missed them. Wait, just a second. Beppo!
Is the Chihuahua on the run again?
No, it wasn't the Chihuahua. Sometimes he just sees something and gets very barky. But people here are very anal about noises in the evening. I already got
I know.
complaints from a neighbor. So
Are you kidding me? A complaint about little Beppo.
yeah, I actually saw the same neighbor today, and he was he was passing by, and he was like, "Oh, he's such a big hot dog now." Like that guy that complained was not like mean-spirited when he complained. He literally just said that like it's keeping him from sleeping, and if I could, just take care of it. And he's like, "Oh, I understand. He's a little boy and everything, but yeah."
Hold on, though. That noise is so disruptive, people in your neighborhood would find it impossible to sleep.
Yep.
Send some of those people over here for a week.
Yeah, this is Germany. Like, if there is anything even mildly inconvenient, they're gonna complain about it. Trust me, those dogs of yours, like your neighbor's dogs, they would not survive here.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously you've lived several different places, Seth. That is something, to that degree, particular to Germany, right?
Yeah. To this extent, yes.
Like Croatia, the other countries in which you've lived, nowhere near that restrictive about noise.
Yeah, like both Croatia and Luxembourg have a bit more tolerance for it.
Probably equivalent to what you would see over here, then.
Yeah, but in German it's like, nope. If it says that it needs to be quiet from 10 o'clock, if they hear a noise at 10:01, they're gonna call the police. All right.
Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, I found the indie scene as some little escape. Just one place where I don't have to worry about games being unfinished, being strung along in big controversies, where I don't have to worry if it'll be on consoles I have, but nothing lasts. They couldn't let me have that. They made me lose the little faith I have in games being real art. Well, man, that's an especially negative view, I think. I respect it, but at the same time, I think there's lots of titles being released, especially over the past console generation, including on PC, that demonstrate a remarkable degree of artistry. Look at what we're playing now. This was released quite recently in the grand scheme of things. The Hollow Knight sequel promises to be just as beautiful as the first. Look at No Straight Roads. Look at The Return of No More Heroes. Look at the fucking Psychonauts sequel we got a decade plus after the fact. Oh, goodness gracious me. What else? Look at Death's Door. Look at Eldest Souls. Yeah. Look at all of those beautiful puzzle... Oh, look at the translation of the great Ace Attorney titles released on Switch. Those games are art, if ever I've seen it in the medium. Oh, he says, I meant faith in the AAA side. I don't blame indie studios. Well, the AAA side was responsible in getting a lot of those games over to us. Bot says, they're, all over the world. Even when they come here for a vacation, they complain about cars going within speed limits.
Wait, seriously? Because when Germans come to Croatia, usually they cause a lot of traffic accidents because they're going at the speed limit.
I'm a defensive driver, so I know nothing about this.
You don't condone this kind of behavior. I think there was another door at the far right of this area that I'm in now. So let's...
Ah, damn, you got a lot of, I don't know, self-loathing souls or whatever you have in the upper right-hand corner. Grief. There you go. You got a lot of grief. Dr. Nefariously Hansen says, when I lived in Split, we had a car accident every week outside my house. Oi.
Yeah, also on the roundabout in front of my dad's house, because it's one of those double roundabouts and they're quite popular in my hometown. Almost every roundabout is a double roundabout, and for some reason no one outside of Croatia seems to know how to drive on it. Well, not even Croatians, but yeah.
It's a little tricky.
There's also that one downhill street in Pula where
Oh fuck yes.
people,
Castañeda.
you know the one,
Yes.
where people just kept crashing into people's like
On the side streets.
front yard. Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they would go downhill super fast and try to turn and fail. And I think last time I was there, I saw they had a big like cement wall now,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
even like speed bumps there.
Yeah.
Pot says if you see, I suppose he means like if I see Germans walking around, I press my brakes, or else they'll go as far as calling the cops on you for reckless driving.
Yeah, for reckless walking.
So I take it like, Seth, for a very, very tranquil and generally crime-free or low-crime country, Germany sees the cops called a whole hell of a lot over minor things.
Oh yeah. Like last time I had the cops here in this building was because like one of the neighbors had a housewarming party that, by the way, he in advance he wrote like a message that it's gonna be a housewarming and he would appreciate if, you know, people would understand it's gonna be a little bit noisy, but they were gonna finish before midnight. And somebody called the cops at midnight 10.
God fucking sake.
Yeah. And like even
Like,
the guy said like, oh, if you mind the noise, like please just come and let us know and we're gonna keep a bit more quiet. And apparently those people didn't even come to tell the guy that, you know, he's being a bit noisy.
Like,
they just went straight to the police.
I'm sorry. I understand there is a considerable difference in cultural values here, but a lot of that, what you shared with me, because people, as you say, don't try to go talk to the people to find out if they're going to be belligerent, or if you tell them, hey, this is, I've got to get up early for work or whatever, would you mind keeping it down? They're like, yeah. It just sounds really hostile to
Yeah.
me. Like
Yeah.
me.
Passive aggressive.
Petty.
Very
Like
passive
somebody was
aggressive.
waiting by the phone looking at the clock like, okay, as soon as it goes to 12:01, those bastards are going down.
Yeah, basically.
Because they got fuck all to do in their life other than just, you know, call the cops.
And do the cops take this seriously, or are they
Yes.
like, guys, come on?
No,
They have to.
yeah, they do because Munich is the city where all the policemen have to do 1 year of service before they get their official badge. So all of the policemen here take everything very seriously. This is the only place in Germany that I saw go through the parks, like the riot police was going through the parks separating people that were not keeping distance.
Because virtually all of the patrolmen you'll see out and about are under like constant scrutiny to earn their badges properly, right?
Yeah.
So not like the like cops you might see in a station or something like that, but if they get called out to a place, it'll be these probationary officers.
Yeah, mostly.
I gotcha. I was about to say, Tennesseans have kind of a reputation, as I understand it, in the U.S. for being pretty inept motorists. And I wouldn't say that's universally or even broadly true, unless it starts snowing.
Oh,
Holy
that's the
shit.
same everywhere.
As soon as
here.
the cocaine from Jesus begins to fall, people start driving straight into brick walls and mailboxes and trees. It doesn't have to be a heavy snow. It doesn't have to be, you know, a disorienting snow like a blizzard. Most of the time, we're lucky if we get like an inch of snow at the very most. People just see that shit, start freaking out.
I always find it fascinating how here in Munich, as soon as it snows, the underground trains are late. And I'm always like, how? What?
Yeah, like in Croatia, as soon as the first snowflake starts dropping,
Bye, Luna.
everybody just
Take care.
Bye, Luna. Everybody just forgets how to drive. The traffic stops to a halt. The public transport goes to shit. And all of a sudden, everybody wants to drive in the public transport. So there's like for a bus that can drive around like 98 people or something like that. There's about 158 of them.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, all of them need to travel by bus. And of course, the Uber and Taxify,
Right,
Bolt, whatever they're called, are just go like through the roof. Just triples. The price just triples immediately.
And you know what's fascinating? During those times where it's known that it's gonna be a lot of people, the elderly still needs to be there every single fucking day. Like, really? Do you seriously
Yeah,
needs
like
to
Grandma,
use the
this
train
graveyard
or
is not
bus.
gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, like, but they use like the trains or buses at like 6:30. You know, the ones that are usually work commutes. Like to go, I don't know, pick up their pensions at the bank or something like that. Like, seriously, you could not wait until 9, 10?
No, it's coming in that day, so they are going to get it at the very start of business that day, damn it.
Not like, the thing is, I've seen so many times, not here in Munich, but in Zagreb, I've seen like people stand in queues in front of the bank to pick up their pension, like at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yep. Also, Thursdays, Lidl has like that's usually when they're like special offers
Yeah.
start up on Thursdays. Thursdays, Lidl, there's a queue at 7 a.m. and it opens at 8. And all
Ooh.
of them are like pensioners,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
waiting to grab it all up.
That sounds like Kroger supermarkets over here, which typically have a senior day on Wednesdays when, you know, people beyond a certain age, I think it's 50 some odd, can get a discount, a pretty decent one on their groceries. Man, you do not want to go to a Kroger on a Wednesday. Not because, like, you know, people are inept drivers or anything like that, but because it is packed wall to wall all day long. Or it was before the ends times, anyway.
The end times.
Let's see, Dr. Nefariously Handsome says snow and split is rarer than... It's really rare is what I take from that.
Yeah.
It's rarer than a straight person in a Christian camp.
And Pot says, of course, otherwise it would be stolen from bank accounts and it's not real money.
Yeah, a lot of them actually do believe that.
Yeah. Like, there is a limited amount of pensions, and you need to be first in line to fucking hell to get it. Otherwise,
First
you're gonna
in
lose on
line
your
to
pension.
get into fucking hell.
Well, I imagine, like, so what's the equivalent then? In Munich, somebody goes outside, like, the pension office, like, 5 minutes before they open, cell phone out with, like, the police already pre-dialed if it doesn't open right on time.
You know how I actually imagine, like, a Munich elderly? I imagine them as that meme with Tom from Tom and Jerry calling Gulag. I don't know why, but that's like, ugh. Oh, look, another painting.
Oh, this is what box babies are for.
Oh.
You bring them to the bull. So,
Well, I have
if you
17.
find... Yeah, I think if you find 20, you get a reward, and if you find all of them, you get another.
Oh, okay. So soon we should be able to see one reward.
Aye. Now, wasn't there an
Oh.
upgrade? Oh, dear. Well, we know what this means.
Oh well, YOLO.
Wait a minute, is this... Remember, Seth, I told you this is where all the bosses get really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is this, though?
Oh no. It's a baby.
Exposito, the scion of abjuration. Now, the baby is not your
Despacito.
opponent here.
Oh,
The serpent
yeah.
is. All the baby can do is, like, telegraph some attacks and perform an instant kill. Like
what is
grab move.
holding the baby?
A giant woman made of wicker, who was made as a surrogate mother for it after his own mother was ritually killed, I think. Or, like, killed as a heretic or something or another.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this game is dark. Like, if nothing else we've played so far has disturbed you guys, long-term viewers of the channel, either this or Conquer would probably do it.
I still vote for Conquer. Like, I'm okay
Yeah,
with
same.
morbid shit. Conquer is just like next level.
Well, yeah, and this is aware that many of the things it's depicting are kind of horrible.
Yeah.
Conquer thought it was awesome. Remember that time Luigi got in a fight with a baby?
Wait, what?
Yeah, in Luigi's Mansion, the first proper boss was a
right.
baby named Chauncey,
I
who
remember.
shrinks Luigi down after Luigi shoots him in the face with a ball, stuffs him inside of his crib, and tries to run him over with a fleet of rocking horses.
God damn it, Luigi's so badass. Why is Mario
Luigi's
the
messed
hero?
up. Yeah, right? Luigi's games would be so much more interesting.
Luigi is the Dark Souls of Mario games.
Luigi's
like-
the dark side of Mario games.
I like to believe that the Mario games are just not like played from the perspective of like, you know, what is actually happening, but from the perspective of Mario's mother, sorry.
What she hopes is happening.
She just
What Mario
loves
told her.
Mario more than Luigi.
Dr. Nefariously Handsome says that this game does not disturb you. You probably have an interesting life. Interesting would be a word for it, and I love Luigi's Mansion. Oh, me too, me too. It was one of my
Yeah.
first console games, actually.
I love Luigi's Mansion too.
And I'm going to be streaming the third one as part of a special Halloween event this year.
Ooh, that's nice. That's a good idea. Oh, I need to think about Halloween as well. It's coming up in 2 months. Jesus, time flies.
Indeed.
Oh god.
Simultaneously not fast enough and way too fast.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of have an easy costume if I want to. I just need to get a wig, fake beard, and print out the Stormbreaker from Thor, and it'll just be Fat Thor.
Yeah, I think you
Ye-
have the cheat.
What?
You have a cheat code for a Halloween costume.
Yep.
I've not worn a Halloween costume in like a decade. Wow.
Oh, we need to think of something. Now that you have a camera for Halloween, you definitely need to dress up.
Oh, we could do. Ooh, you know what we could do for Halloween?
What?
If we don't have any social plans or anything, because you know.
Probably not. I mean, come on, it's
Yeah,
us.
yeah. We could do like a costume party, live creepypasta podcast.
Yes! Yes! In which case I would need a Luigi costume, obviously.
Yes. I think you can find that easy, right? you
Pot
grow a
says social
mustache?
plans. Ew. Oh, obviously. And Dr. Nefariously Handsome says we do not have Halloween here, but Mashkare, and it is totally different date.
Yeah, Mashkare. It's in February, I think.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
like the
noticing-
carnival.
It's Carnival.
But
My-
Halloween
my-
is starting to like live up here as well.
I have this weird tendency to pronounce Croatian words correctly on the first attempt, but like emphasize the wrong syllable.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize.
And you also doubt yourself.
Yes. Stop doubting yourself. Just be confident.
So, the first syllable sounds like it's almost always emphasized, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh,
There's a
except when
bunch
it's
of
not.
stupid. There's a bunch of stupid rules that
Yeah,
make no
I was
sense.
gonna say, like, Halloween is quite popular in Istria because we were mostly pagans throughout the history, so some of the
still are.
traditions still live. Well, we still are. Like, for example, during Halloween, we make a big doll, and we burn that doll on Hallows Eve. And,
an
like,
effigy.
we like blame all of our misfortune on that doll and then like sacrifice it. That's kind of like a tradition.
Which is kind of the same thing they do during Mashkare, because they also
Yeah.
make like a...
The festival of blaming others for our problems. I'm honestly
No,
surprised
just
that hasn't
blaming
caught on
one
over here.
Blaming one single dude for all the trouble, then just burning him
Yeah.
and start doing the same mistakes all over again.
Exactly.
I was about to say, if it was just about blaming others for your problems, it should have been a big hit over here at some point or another. By the way, y'all see, at least in the US, we're probably going to be struggling with, like, pandemic level COVID cases until early 2022?
Yeah, in Istria,
Those
they've been on the
motherfuckers
rise
won't get their
because of-
shots!
Yeah, the thing is, we are getting our shots, but the problem is we opened up like to the entire world, like come people, come here for vacation, and now like they are skyrocketing again.
I'm
Like
actually
from-
pretty sure during the tourist season they're suppressing some of the cases.
Yeah, probably, but like in Istria, in one day it went from like 10 to 500 and something.
Dr.
So-
Nefariously Handsome says if I could bother, I would totally dress as Grim or Emperor Velos for Halloween.
Ooh.
From Hollow Knight, I assume. That'd make a pretty cool costume, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Pot says, I assume about like people blaming each other or others for their problems sounds like the UK. Sorry, I don't know why I
UK?
find that as
Yeah.
funny as I do. So, Seth, this doesn't seem nearly as bad as, like, the Wraiths, for instance.
No. It's just that I need to, like, get into the groove, I guess. Also, it quite depends on in which, like, position this head ends up.
Pot says, Seth looks like there's another soft spot on the Wicker Dude mid-body.
Yeah, I saw.
And Dr.
But, like,
Nefariously Hansen says, it's funny because it's true. Seems like patience is really the name of the game here.
Yeah. Son of a...
Pot says, I thought it was blasphemous. Very good, Pot. Very good.
Wow.
No, it's blasphemous.
By which I mean...
Yeah, that's what my character did. But this is kind of how it started with the last boss, like the human guy.
Esdras.
Like the first couple of rounds, I was like, there is no way I'm supposed to be like at this boss fight right now. Like this seems to be super hard. And then, like, see on the stream, I killed it in second try.
Yeah, so now that we're into the, like, Grand Cathedral they call Mother of Mothers, we have to find 3 more items guarded by 3 weird esoteric bosses. This is the first of them.
Right, I'm just like looking right now at the map if there is somewhere else where I can go to find that NPC that is expanding my rosary.
Oh yeah, I know where it is. It's clear on the other side of the map, like near where we began the game.
Okay.
Do we have a teleport function or anything? Oh yeah, the portals. Dr. Nefariously Hansen says, Croatia is such a great place. We have whole buildings made of unpaid taxes.
Yes.
Well, the U.S., at least for the past few years anyway, was struggling so much with infrastructure. We were like, please let us pay more taxes. Just get this fixed.
Just as long as it's not for socialized healthcare.
Yeah, Croatia is the second country in the world with the highest tax on product.
Well, as long as it's used for public goods.
No, it's not.
Well, then it's a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, our VAT is 25% on like most stuff. There's some
on
like
products,
food products which are I think 13% or something like that.
Yeah,
But
I think
most of
also
it's 25.
like restaurant stuff as well, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like like lunch in a restaurant would be taxed 13, and I think drinks there. No, actually, I think drinks are 25.
Drinks are 25. Just food is cheaper.
Yeah.
Sales tax in Tennessee, believe it or not, like in the U.S., every state has a different sales tax, and a couple of them have none at all. Sales tax in Tennessee, oddly enough, oh no.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Wait.
like I said, he has an Tennessee sales tax is actually one of the highest in the union.
Yeah.
It
how
is
much?
10% on everything.
Wow.
That's the weirdest thing in America is that you guys have like all your prices in stores without the sales tax.
Yes, and then you're
Right?
like, I don't know what this is. How do I calculate this?
No, it's like how much you're gonna pay for all that. I'll find out as soon as I get to the cash register.
Yeah.
Dr. Nefariously Hansen says, higher taxes most of the time do not solve much. In my experience, at least, and I do understand the American experience is vividly different, they actually do. The problem is with people, a certain group, not a majority, but a substantial group of people who have demonized public funding via taxation of public services, things like healthcare, education, infrastructure, and employment support. For instance, retraining people, and there are programs for this, retraining people whose jobs were lost due to what we would call technological unemployment or innovations in certain fields rendering their old position unnecessary. Retraining them to work in an equivalent job in a new or different sectors, oftentimes they're choosing. People don't want to pay for any of that, and in fact want to deny the government the ability to do so. But many of those same people also want to fund extremely costly, both to enact and to perpetuate, often militarized policing and international adventures, usually aimed at punishing those they deem unworthy, undeserving, unjust. The US in particular has a long-standing fascination with and fear of this concept of the, quote, undeserving poor, right? The notion of somebody who doesn't deserve any help from the government or from others because they don't work hard enough. Yeah. So it's not so much that taxes don't solve the problem. More taxes in the US, in my mind, are necessary, though they should be weighted heavily towards those who don't pay enough taxes already. People who get significant tax demerits and things like that. But also what programs these taxes are funding. Should they be going to the military in the amount that they are? In my opinion, no. Nowhere near. Should they be going to policing to the extent they are? No. They should probably be going to the
healthcare,
like expansion and sustenance of communities and community services, like taxes do in many, many, many countries in Europe and elsewhere in the world. But it's weird. There are just enough people here, supported by the wealthy and influential lawmakers, who believe that tax money should not go to the people who could benefit most from it, but should go to punishing people they don't like. That's acceptable, helping others isn't.
Yeah, I think that's the issue why Croatia has high taxes and it's still not helping. Is not because it doesn't work, it's because our politicians steal the tax
corruption.
money.
They get a government project that would cost, let's say, for simplicity's sake, $10 million. They find a corrupt company that will do it for 15, and they pocket like 7.5, and then half-ass the $10 million job with not enough money and resources, and everything goes to shit.
Yes, of course.
And then they just find someone else to blame it on.
So the thing is, in Munich, we have a 48% tax on our salary. So like 48% of our salary goes to the government. Of course, you can then file for tax refund, whatever. But the thing is, our city actually works. Our city is clean. Our public transport has enough spaces for everyone. So rarely there is any problem. Our people are generally happy with how clean our parks are. Everything is getting properly, everything works. So
yeah, you get what you pay for, and then some.
Yeah.
Yep. Pot says, let's see. First off, woo, yeah, congratulations, Seth. That was a good victory and a pretty swift one too. Pot says, unlike other countries in Europe which levy the VAT at different rates, Denmark only imposes two. The standard rate, which is 25%, and a 0% rate, which is applied to newspapers and international trade. Oh, that's interesting. He says, and then there's Latvia with a 21% visible tax and about an extra 15 invisible.
Yeah.
But see, you know what makes it funny for me? You see America where, oh God, my tax is going to healthcare. God forbid communism. People should be able to take care of themselves. And then that same person 3 months later, sadly, has a disease that's very expensive to treat. And they open a GoFundMe where people are giving them money to get healthcare.
Yeah.
That's like what you were offered, but worse.
So, Potato, you've got to remember the myth of the undeserving poor. It's different if it's a campaign just for them, because obviously they deserve it, right? They've been a good person, they've been a hard worker, all this. But if it was a system that applied to everybody, some of that money, no matter how little, would be going out of their pocket into people who don't want to work for a living and don't want to support blah, 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 blah. So it's worth putting everybody, the overwhelming majority of whom work and support their communities and their families and their loved ones in good faith, through pain to ensure that you don't accidentally help a scant minority, a tiny percentage of people
One
who would take
single
advantage of it.
person.
Yes.
One single person would be too much. But that's like the thing where like most Americans don't see themselves as poor, even though they are. They just see themselves as some sort of temporarily embarrassed millionaire.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Well,
they're about to be rich. It's about to happen. You know, it's the American way. It's the American dream, but just not yet.
so I'm sure you guys have noticed, at least this is my reading of like the culture I grew up in and around. For a culture that generally has an international reputation for being, for all its faults, very boisterous and friendly and outgoing, our culture has this bizarre fixation on punishment. Like punishment and like excruciating labor being requisite to deserve anything.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
and
you guys don't
punishing
know that
the
you should work
unworthy.
smarter, not harder.
Right. Punishing the unworthy is this disturbingly recurrent theme in American politics. Now, to be fair, that's not most people anymore. It's American conservatism, by and large, which I don't subscribe to, and most people over here don't anymore. But it's something from ages past that has been kept alive well beyond its expiry date. Let's see. Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, I think much of the problem is delusion that money is not a finite thing. People have to understand not everybody can get richer or become, like, obscenely wealthy. Yeah. Now me,
The
I
real
got enough
riches are the
money.
friends you make along the way.
Right, I got enough money to pay my rent and buy a copy of Psychonauts 2 and also some tacos, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like-
Got enough
That's
money
all
to
you
pay
really
my
need.
rent, buy video games, and feed my pets. Sometimes I get to also feed myself, so that's good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not stressed out by like if you're gonna pay your bills or have like health insurance, for most people that should be enough. It's not like
Right.
I don't need a huge ass mansion where I'm gonna live alone and have like 20 servants because
Yeah.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
I'm
first of all-
sad.
First of all, I don't want. If I have a house, I don't want people in it. I'll clean it myself, and I want to be there alone, mostly alone. And secondly, if I'm there alone, I don't need a house that can like fit 5,000 people.
No, think about that too. Like in this situation, this hypothetical scenario, you wake up totally alone in like this really lavish, opulent, massive bedroom, and like to go get yourself something to eat for breakfast, you've got to walk through empty, like hollow corridor after hall down to the big empty kitchen. Everything's so much bigger, so it feels, even emptier. That would make me very sad very quickly.
What do you mean walk to? I'd have my golf like cart.
Yeah,
for
golf
driving
carts,
around the
exactly. I
house.
was gonna say that.
Or a mobility scooter.
Like now that I'm thinking about this, man, maybe Drake does have a reason to be that sad all the time.
Oh god. Okay, need to go one up.
He doesn't have a reason to produce music that sounds like shit as often as he does, but
Yeah.
he may have a reason for being that sad.
Like if I had like outlandish amounts of money, I'd probably have a house that's not too big, but it would be most likely in the middle of nowhere, where I would pay an extravagant amount of money for it to have like fiber optic internet, and I would just adopt a bunch of animals, and that's
you
all I
would-
really need.
You would construct the Tato Dome out in the hills.
Yep.
Man, I would probably just buy a nice, decently sized condo or home. I'd probably want a house, like my own house, so I could,
Not
sing
have
or
neighbors
listen to
with dogs.
music. Yeah, that too, but also like sing and listen to music without people getting potentially upset. And just like buy friends and coworkers and students dinners like
friends?
every day. That would be
I
me.
was just about to buy friends.
No, we just said I'm not that set. Let's see. Pot says MJ's roller coaster ride to get up from your sad fancy kitchen to your sad fancy Ferrari garage to drive off to your sad supercomputer streaming house. Yeah, doesn't that sound awful?
No, I would
Yeah.
not have a Ferrari garage. I'd have a Lamborghini garage and
Yeah.
a library for all my knowledge.
Knowledge.
I would have like a multi-layered parking garage filled with nothing but that model of the Pinto that would explode if you jostled it slightly.
Nice.
No. The best car ever. The most Slav car ever. The Lada Niva.
Yeah!
Why?
Because it has like no electronic parts that can get broken, and every part is like super cheap. You can buy them in like the grocery stores.
It might
it
as well
doesn't
be
break
made out of
down.
clockwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, I think I can hear Grandpa coming down the way now.
Wow.
Wait, is that his turn signal? No, that's the engine.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm going to the teleporter because I want to go to wherever the fuck the rosary expansion guy is.
All right, let me
And
summon
if
my
you're wondering
guide.
how you can interact with us a bit more, we do have a Discord where we are there all the time.
If you want to
And-
know which kind of cars we want to buy, if we were potentially rich.
See, I'm like the person that's like between a Lada and a freaking Tesla.
Wow.
Oh man, I just want nothing but Cybertrucks.
Big!
I want a fleet of Cybertrucks.
Cybertruck 2077.
2077 Cybertrucks in my garage. Stat.
Wow.
I loved how they were like, we did extensive testing and we're gonna show you how unbreakable these windows are. Goes ahead and breaks one. Well, okay, that was a fluke. Goes ahead and breaks the other one. Oh, the funniest shit ever.
Oh, good night.
I hate this level, fucking hell.
Pot says Brady every morning just slightly bumps into Pinto's rear bumper of another Pinto just to feel alive. No, man, don't you get it? If I'm wealthy, you have like the employees do that.
Pennsylvania. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Oh, I think Poppy wants to go inside. Just a sec.
Oh Lord.
No, never mind. She changed her mind.
At least he changed it before she got into the house.
I think she changed her mind because Beppo sat on the door.
She's like, oh god, the dog is still here. Ew.
Ew.
Tell my head
dog.
off.
If I go left, right, there should be another door right. Okay.
Door.
Oh! It's teleporter. How convenient. Okay.
All right. So you're gonna want to go to probably Albedo. Because we're going to be going through John Doe, I'm so sorry, to reach a secret area of the very first zone of the game. And there's a ghost there you can give the knots of rosary rope to extend your rosary.
Okay.
How many knots do you have, by the by?
Let's see.
She does
3.
not. No.
3 out of 5 or 6, I think, so that's really good.
Who do I have to give the Quicksilver to?
Oh, remember you can give them to that one NPC along with one of your bile vessels, I think, permanently to strengthen them. I don't know if that would be worth it.
Alright. Okay, can you tell me on the map this is John Doe?
Okay, so no, you see the Mountains of the Endless Dusk there?
Mountains, yes.
So what you're gonna want to do is head left from that through that opening at the end of the mountains, and that should get you to where we need to go.
Okay.
So you may, in fact, ultimately not need to go to John Doe, though I'm not sure.
Okay, so we drop down from here.
I love filling out maps in 2D Metroidvanias like
Oh
this.
yeah. Oh fuck, I forgot about this bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's the sewer that they made us spend like 2 hours in because
The
before
sewer
John
level
Doe.
is always nice.
Not just that, but they put like the two blandest, some of the lengthiest biomes next to each other. Oh, is this the guy we give the Quicksilver to? Yeah.
Okay, so I have to sacrifice...
A flask to improve them. Pod says, make it heals more powerful?
You
No,
know
not
what?
worth it. I just
I'm
want to
gonna-
bump my Pentos.
I'm gonna do one. Because I have a lot of them and they are
Okay.
quite weak right now.
Go right ahead then, if you think it's worth it.
Well, one healing you for a lot, I think, is better than a lot
Yeah,
of them healing.
just because of the clicking and how long it takes for the animation of the healing to complete.
Would you like to do it again then, or
I have
should we see
3
how powerful
Quicksilvers.
these are first?
Maybe you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one more. Una más and... Oh, it's 3k.
You have just
I don't know if they're gonna want me for improving the rosary.
Fair.
So, yeah.
What are you up to, Potato?
Oh, just watching Seth play and maybe every now and then playing a little bit of Psychonauts.
Hell
See,
yeah.
What about Dark Souls?
I need to, like, I'm getting close to seeing Vendrick for the first time in New Game Plus. So I think I can rush to finish New Game Plus pretty soon. I will just do the one DLC with those Idols of Nadalia.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was an idiot that didn't spend her soul to buy the one spell I need, or I think it's a pyromancy. Which
Yeah,
means
it's either a pyromancy or a hex.
No, it's a pyromancy. I have all the hexes.
Okay.
So I need to do that. I'd rather do that on New Game Plus than New Game Plus Plus. So once I do that, I'm gonna just bum rush to the end of New Game Plus, because I literally don't need anything there anymore. And then rush to Castle Drang Lake to buy from Villager his all the stuff he sells, and then all I need to do is get the Sun Bros to rank 3.
There you go.
With essentially killing 28 more bosses with a Sun Bro.
Would you like me to try and get to New Game Plus and help you with that?
No, not really. You can do it offline, so I'm not in any specific kind of
Okay.
rush.
I think, because I'm going to have to do it to get the platinum, I may stream my partial New Game Plus run of Immortal Unchained late at
God.
night for me, so it would be like early in the morning for most of the audience, just so I could chronicle it.
Ah, right.
Oh God, Brady, why would you do that to yourself?
But it's okay, he's doing it while we are asleep. So
Because
it's
the
fine.
trophy they added for clearing like New Game Plus was only like technically DLC, so I don't have to do that. This feels eminently doable.
So I was feeling super sleepy and tired, right?
Aye.
So I thought I'd drink a can of Monster.
You thunk wrong.
I drank the can of Monster, and now I'm super sleepy and tired and burpy. So there's that going for me.
Well, it
You're
awoke
not farty,
part
it's
of
fine.
you.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have to go back through John Doe. Thank you, Lord.
Ah, it wasn't... You know, it was. Never mind.
If we never see those grandmas again, we will be A-okay.
Yeah. fuck the
Meanwhile, the
grandmas.
grandma in Psychonauts 2 is one of my favorite characters, so that
Actually,
game
we
has
don't
that.
fuck the grandmas.
Am I your favorite grandson? Of course you are, Dion.
No, I love Nona. She's great.
Nona. I call my grandma Nona. That's the one
Oh.
that told me that I need to get rid of Beppa and get married.
Yeah, Raz's family is from Eastern Europe, so the fictional country of Grilovia.
You should have just tried to convince her that you already are married. And how could she forget?
The virtue of mea culpa hath ascended. Ooh. Now we have, what is this?
Pot says, haha, good words from Grandma.
Like, what the fuck, Grandma? You were at the wedding. What the fuck?
You were my maid of honor.
I couldn't imagine my grandmother talking to me like that.
Eh,
You don't think your grandmother would tell you to get rid of those dogs?
Well, no, because I don't like those. I don't like the dogs, so she'd probably be a-okay with that.
Alright, let's
There's
see
something
what's there.
special in each of these rooms.
Apparently, yeah. Oh, teleport. No, I didn't. I mean,
No, you wanted to add it
Yeah.
to the network for sure.
yeah. I thought that I would
Pot says if my
automatically...
grandma would start talking to me, I'd totally flip out. Oh,
Is she fast?
I assume that's the joke, yes.
Um,
Here's the NPC.
Why does the
God.
NPC look like the ghost of Michael Jackson?
Oh
I mean,
my
it's even
god,
missing the
they-
nose.
oh my god, it
High will
actually
has granted me
does.
the opportunity to
Hi.
help people while my body remains a blue flame.
Hoo-hoo!
Now remember, don't be ignorant.
Hoo-hoo! Hi, in Dust We Trust.
Howdy, howdy. Good evening. How you doing?
I'll just
Okay.
need one of those knots of rosary rope, thank you.
Can you read with that voice this line?
Now, let my fingers tie a new mystery.
Oh god.
Do you have more knots for me, penitent one? Watch me tie this rope.
You know what, Brady? If I ever get an idea that I want to put into a video game, I want you to voice act every single character.
Okay.
Now return
What is
once
it,
you
Peppa?
find some more of
Hey.
that rope!
Alright, I can actually have more than one now. So happy.
More than two, you mean? We started
Yeah.
with 2 slots.
Right.
And Dust We Trust says, show me that dog. Or doog,
The dude.
according to the chat message. Pot says 17 years ago, so it's all fine. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, man, like, regardless. Our elders are usually very, very special and blessings to us while they're here. And Palpatine, they say. All right, let's see the whole family. Oh, Beppo
Puppy.
is getting to be a big hot dog. He's becoming a
he's big hot
bratwurst.
dog. Hey, puppy. There she comes. No, that's wine, puppy. You can have wine.
Speaking of, even if you're not a fan of the sport, in EL come to the US, you gotta go to like a Major League Baseball game and get you like a bratwurst sandwich, which is often served by some of like the traveling vendors. They are so good. So good. Get you a bratwurst sandwich, get you some garlic fries. Woo!
Okay, increasing defenses.
Dust We Trust says, I saw the a-hole. That's what I needed for the evening.
Yep.
Well, we're glad to serve.
Okay, let's
So,
do this.
For a
yeah,
second there, I was like, I'm not on camera.
Is my camera on? Okay, oops. Did not
so
jump.
it looks like Michael can give us 2 more rosary slots later
Yeah.
on.
Michael.
That's... Oh.
That's the guy who was trying to cross John Doe.
An unsurmountable force seemeth to interpose itself between our feet and our holy destinations. Will there ever be a blessing that save us from this sorrow?
Again, I will always hold that I'm much better on commentary than I am, like, actually at the controls.
Nah.
No, that my commentary from yesterday's stream, watching some of the VOD, trash. This, where I just get to do silly character voices and talk about exploding cars, this is my strong suit.
I'm just happy we're talking about exploding cars and we are not referencing Drugs Bunny in any way.
Right? Well, no, none of those
Until
cars
now.
exploded while he was in them.
Map not available. Interesting. Oh, whoops.
Wait.
Life not available.
Eh. Ooh, ooh. I cannot do it too loud.
Police called with reports of Michael Jackson after 10 p.m.
Michael is still alive.
No channeling the spirits of deceased pop stars after curfew.
Okay, let's
Michael
go down.
Jackson, the only person in history to be born a poor black boy and die a rich white woman.
My mom actually saw him in concert, like back in the 80s during his heyday, and apparently it's like the greatest stage show she ever saw.
Oh,
Which I don't
bet.
doubt it.
Like, he was a pretty good showman.
Absolutely. The best show I've ever seen, if we're talking about like actual stagecraft, like the whole production, is probably Sir Elton John. But like my favorite show I've been to was oh man, it's a toss-up between a double header of the Temptations and the Four Tops, or oh dear.
Steph, did you just break the game?
You saw nothing.
Or Uncle Charlie Wilson with a couple other R&B singers, including the producer Babyface, and a guy who goes mononymously just by Joe, which is like the worst possible stage name you could use if you want people to remember you.
Well, you remember Joe.
Oh god, did you guys see that Kanye plans to change his name?
To what?
To what?
You're not gonna believe this.
I have a
wants to
feeling I'll
change
believe
it
anything.
From his full name,
Mhm.
Kanye Omari West,
Yeah?
to
Good name.
Y-E. No,
Ye.
Y-E.
Yeah, no, I know it looks like yeah, but he pronounces it yay.
Well, he's a fucking moron.
Yay.
He doesn't trust us, he want to call it yay.
Yee.
Yee. Reminds me of that dinosaur meme, you know, from the terrible animated film. Yee.
Yee.
Look, Kanye ran for president in 2020 under the banner of the birthday party. I'm not surprised by anything he does anymore. Industry Trust says, what do you expect? He's Kanye West who names his children Northwest, right?
True.
The last Kanye song I knew very well, or that I was terribly aware of, outside of that shit post he made, like called Lift Yourself, where the lyrics are just like poopity scoop, whoopity poopity whoopity shoop, was Bound to, the one with that ridiculous music video with him and Kim Kardashian on the motorcycle.
Isn't that the porn video?
The one that like Seth Rogen filmed a parody of. Yeah. I only know that song because they got Uncle Charlie Wilson, one of like the elder statesmen of R&B in the US, to record like a chorus or a sample for them, and Kanye like cuts off the end of his sample, I think, both times.
What a dick.
he has this weird thing for getting like really high-end guest stars and just doing nothing with them.
Yeah. Kinda
Are
like
either of you
asserting
familiar?
dominance. Be right back.
Yeah, really. Anybody here familiar with a Kanye song called "All of the Lights"?
No.
It's an old song that has something about like the narrator, so the person the song is written from the perspective of, like beating their spouse because Michael Jackson died, and then getting the federal police called on them or something. I'm not entirely sure, but for the chorus, just for the chorus now, he assembled an actual choir of top tier talent. Some of the people featured on All of the Lights include Rihanna, I believe Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. He got a couple really big name rock stars. He got a plethora of R&B singers, including I think The Dream was on there. He might have had someone like Common. I think a handful of rappers present, and friggin' Elton John, who also contributed a little piano riff that was used for the chorus. But for 95% of that chorus's use, everyone is blended together and the piano is drowned out beneath Kanye's synth. So you only get to hear Elton John for like a few seconds at the tail end, and you don't hear anybody else aside from Rihanna really at all.
Quality content.
Oh, I think he might have gotten like Carrie Hilson or someone like that for it as well. Like a lot of people. It was a who's who of R&B and rock stars, and Kanye just didn't use them for anything at all.
Of course. It was all about him. He just wanted people to know that he can bring all these people together.
Fast. Pod says, I think that he's just going like, hey guys, will they buy all of my shit? Want a revenue? Do you remember the time that he was sentenced to teach college by a court?
No.
No.
Yeah. After being found guilty of some offense or another, he was sentenced to community service by teaching something he apparently is qualified to do, a course in fashion design for a local community college.
Nice.
Can you imagine being the person who has to tell their parents, "Oh, I'm taking fashion or I'm taking garment design." Oh, who's your teacher? Kanye West.
What a coincidence, like the rapper.
Yeah, exactly like the rapper.
Like-
He even looks like him.
Like, Princess, I'm pulling you out of that school right away. We're not getting what we paid for.
Yep.
In Those We Trust says, no wonder he gets fooled by South Park.
Motherfucking gay fish. That was one of the funnier episodes.
I don't, again, find South Park all that funny generally, but I do like that bit.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Kanye is just totally flabbergasted by it.
Yeah, like, it's totally sounds like Kanye not getting the joke about fish dicks.
Right.
Fucking. What even are you?
I like the, have you seen the Bo Burnham sketch?
Yes.
Where he's doing a Kanye-style rant?
That
I have
was
not,
the,
no.
Wasn't
Oh,
that
you
the,
need
the ending song of his special? Where he was talking
Which
about the
special?
Pringles can?
Yes, the Pringles can.
Yeah, and then he wants a daughter so she can fit into a...
So
like
she
her
can
hand.
reach the bottom of the Pringles can, yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, that
it's
sounds like
called-
Kanye.
Oh, and
No,
then he
you
talks
gotta
about
watch that
burritos.
sketch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Those We Trust says, or the other episode where Kim gets called a hobbit.
Yeah, where he's
No,
like,
no.
she's not a hobbit, and then they explain to him, like, why does she hang out with Gandalf all the time?
No. The song he performs at the end of that episode is a parody of Bound to, the other song I was talking about where he ruins Charlie Wilson.
Hi, Schnappy.
Hey, Snuffy!
Hey, good evening, man. How's it going? Thanks for joining us. But like the way Kanye uses his guest stars, especially all these R&B singers, just to throw like their contributions in the trash halfway through, makes no sense to me. That would be like getting the license for Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," like that beautiful chorus, right? And like using it for maybe the first two bars, then like really abruptly interrupting it with like a reverberating, deafening fart sound and then going straight into some EDM. Like, it makes no sense. You already paid for that. Why don't you use that? God damn.
Because you can. Peppa, where are you going?
Weird thing about Kanye too is he actually knows his samples. He knows his R&B and soul history and has chosen
Peppa?
to sample, albeit badly, some really good songs.
Where are you going? Puppy, come. Okay, I'm here. Sorry. Beppo was being
No
a
worries.
naughty boy.
What was he doing?
Just chasing Poppy around, and Poppy just wanted to finish eating.
Ah, of course.
And he was like, no, it's playtime.
Oh, by the way, Brady, have you noticed that it seems to the Psychonauts ranks seem to go over 101 this time?
Yeah, there's some ability you can only buy at rank 102, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot go up like this. Probably I'm gonna be falling from a
Man,
platform
if you
above.
can, like just one little piece of advice, go for the Dark Thoughts upgrade as quick as you can.
I know. I saw the first place where you can use that is in Agent Foresight's mind in the second
Yeah.
part.
What do you think about the P hosting the races?
Um, nothing special.
I think that was a better execution of the kind of tone Rare goes for than they ever achieved.
Well, yeah, but that's because Rare just likes to pile up a bunch of dirty jokes and they think it's
Yeah.
a game.
And like
Does we trust it?
Psychonauts
I
does
wonder-
it once.
I wonder what Palpatine would do if she would meet my two cats.
Oh, Poppy loves everyone. She loves humans the most, but she also loves other animals. So she would probably try to cuddle with them.
Well, Sev, we've covered before, you have a cat that acts like a dog and a dog that acts like a cat.
Yes. Beppo? No. Okay, my grief is over there.
Oh god, there's a pretty big thunderstorm outside.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice. Maybe you're finally gonna get some refreshing air.
Oh,
Here
it's
I'm-
actually been pretty cold the last few days.
Ah, nice. Because here, like, during the night is under 10 degrees. And I'm freezing my ass off. And then during the day it's around 15.
Oh no, here during
like
the
my
days
kind
it
of
was
weather.
like 25, but that's still colder than the 38 the
Yeah.
week before.
I mean, to be honest, I really like it. But I would like it if it was like that with sun. Because like one of the best parts of Munich are the beer gardens, and they're kind of not fun if it's raining.
Oh, Brady, what rank are you?
Oh, I don't have the game on now, but like maybe 40
Prox-
something?
Oh shit, you leveled a lot.
30 or 40 something? I've been getting as much as I can from the mental worlds. Even though I clearly explored them way out of order, I went for Mail Ford first, then Salon Ford, then Bowling Ford, which I'm pretty sure is not even close to the intended order. You do get a new ability if you go for Mail Ford first, though.
That's neat. Good to know.
One that's pretty useful for gathering things around the base. And Dust We Trust says, well, I think there's a difference in cats who are allowed to go outside and those who aren't allowed in
Yeah.
behavior to other cats. Oh, I see.
Probably, yeah. Poppy is very, very social with people. Like, whenever my friend comes over, she like climbs on him, starts giving him smooches. But at this point, he's basically their daddy now, so yeah. They know who brings food. Okay, you're dead. There's not gonna be any shrine probably soon. If you hear Beppo whimpering now, it's because he's trying to catch his tail, but the tail is not cooperating, and it's quite upsetting.
Aww.
I know. Oh no, I don't have any mana. Well, 18 out of 38. Wait, where am I? Is a shrine nearby? Because I feel like I've been here already. Yeah, there's a shrine in the next room. Okay, so I'm gonna go fast to that shrine, and then... Oh, I don't think I can go back from... Never mind. Not of the three worlds. Ain't nothing but a heartache, Poppy White. Okay, here. Nope. Also, one game that I wanted to finish that I haven't is Bloodstained.
Oh, yeah. And let's remember there's some crossover content in this
Yeah.
game. When we find, or we can navigate back to that shrine that had Miriam's tattoo painted on a
Yeah.
fresco in the back. I'm sure we can access like a special stage or something.
Not worth fighting these little shits.
We only fight big shits around here.
Exactly. Only Lestra material. Okay, so what's to... Oh, okay, so I actually could have... Nah, never mind.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, I could have used the shortcut, but I didn't. Wow. Well, that was pathetic.
Reminds me of this great Viper-esque poetry collection released by a gentleman named Gregory P. Jones back in the day
P?
called... Yeah.
As in
Things... As in the letter.
Oh.
Things you, the letter, things you, so ooh, things ooh could have said, but ooh didn't, with like 5 exclamation points. Poetry of love, sex, power, and more.
Wow.
It's great. It's a great book. Recommend for the whole family.
What did we get now? Oh,
My
another body
favorite
part.
terrible artifacts from the internet, along with Viper's entire back catalog and Ketchup 2. Yes, they released a sequel to Ketchup. We're so fat now, we're franchising our condiments.
Ketchup Part 2.
Ketchup 2, Electric Boogaloo.
By the way, speaking
this
of,
Bloodstained is awesome. Yeah, I've heard that. I have a copy I need to get around to playing.
I just hope it eventually received some updates because the FPS drops in certain areas were really horrible in the Switch version. Like in that Dragon's Tower, I think it's called, the one that goes like spiral up. Like I had like 2-3 FPS. It was really bad.
Ooh.
I remember because I wanted to make a YouTube episode about how bad the FPS lag was, and then I noticed that everyone and their grandma was making it, so I was like, not worth it. Okay, what is here? Nothing, apparently. Okay, but we have a nice view. What?
Oh, Raz just talking to his brother. Like, Mom said you needed help. With what? Reading crystal balls? Beat it, Nostra, dumbass.
Oh, yeah.
Nostradamus.
Dior is awful. Or Dion, or whichever.
I think it's Dion. Dion?
Dion.
Celine Dion?
Nana's favorite grandchild.
Snuffy says, oh, okay, I didn't recognize that. I played on PS4.
I think
So,
there's
yeah,
also a PC port, right? Ah, Beppo, you stepped on my toe.
Potato, you definitely want to complete that quest you're in the middle of right now.
Oh yeah, no, I'm completing them all. I'm like,
like
into a zone and complete everything I can in it before I go out further.
So in this game, when you're hanging on to these things on the side, you cannot open your inventory or map. It's kind of like, you know, he can't do that while he's hanging on. Kind of cool.
Right.
Minor thing, but kind of cool.
Oh god, no. Oh! Did he
Love
shove
it.
that right up his butt?
Yep.
Oh, lord. One thing I will say, and Potato, you'll have to let me know your opinion when you get to that point in one of the quest lines. Dogen's grandpa is an adorable character and one of my favorites in the duology.
So you managed to meet him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I ran into him as well. He wanted me to get him a B. I got him 3.
He's a very kind, very gentle character, unlike almost every other Psychonaut Raz meets in the game.
Yeah, I mean, also like unlike most of his family, he's the nicest. I mean, Dogen is just an idiot that apparently explodes brains. Sam is some sort of a psychopath or sociopath or something.
She's nice to the other kids, though.
Yeah, but, you know, mostly because she has that outlet with the animals, I'm thinking.
Right.
But he's just like, oh, I put myself into psycho-isolation, I don't want to hurt anyone. Also, I hate people.
Yeah.
How do you
makes
not
sense.
like that?
His whole deal seems to be he cannot function in, like, social settings without his partner around.
Yeah. Also, that lady that runs the psycho-isolation chamber.
Yeah.
She's like the person in real life I would so hate, but would feel bad about it, because she's sort of like a good person, but
Just
annoying.
really lonely.
No, annoying. Like, people who are like that nice and talkative are annoying, but I feel bad about being annoyed by them because they're not. Like, just be a dick to me so I can hate you and feel good about it. No, you're being nice. Fuck.
That character's a little much, but generally I like the kind of person you're describing, Potato.
I don't know.
Schnaufy says, I definitely need to play Blasphemous soon, it looks nice. Yeah, we've all been enjoying it, I think.
Yes. This is the kind of game that I actually want to complete 100%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I really like Metroidvanias. Alright. Okay, I'm first gonna go all the way to the right. I don't want to ascend into heavens before exploring this part.
I mean, technically though, if you could just go ahead and take a shortcut to heaven, we could bypass all of this bullshit in Custodia.
True. Oh my fucking god, these guys are so
Like,
annoying.
I have arrived. Please direct me to the massage parlor / bowling alley. I'm done with everything else.
Ah, okay, so here we need to put like the 3 masks that we find.
Maybe. Did you see, though, a switch became
Yeah.
operable? Maybe there's a teleporter in the other tower or something?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I wanted to go there first. Oh no, 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 no. Why? Brady, you tricked me.
No, I genuinely thought it was just going to be a thing. Oh, no. I've read about these guys. This is nasty. This is the game's equivalent to a Black Knight. What on earth is at the end of their pole arm? It doesn't look like a bell. Does
Like a
it
paint
ring
bucket?
like one?
Nope.
No, it looks, I would say like a sensor, but it's totally solid. It looks like, some kind of ceremonial urn, right?
Kind of, yeah. Bye, Pot.
Take care, Pot. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening and a good day tomorrow.
I like it how Pot wrote, I'm off to bed today,
Right.
as opposed to any other day.
Well, remember that day he streamed, like, Dark Souls 2 for what seemed like 20-plus hours straight altogether?
Yikes. That's Pot's to you.
Oh, wait, no, that was during your vacation. Never mind.
Oh. Well then. I mean, I was still tuning into all of your streams during the vacation. I just wasn't active in chat because I would be talking to either mom or someone, so I was just silently stalking you. I needed
The
to
most
see if my
efficient
community-
way.
Yeah. I needed to see if my community is functioning without me.
And the answer was kind of. Barely.
You survived, so that's fine.
Pretty sure that's what my master's degree is going to say. For excellence in survival. Shelfie says 20-plus hour stream, I couldn't do that. No, I think Pot had a couple different sessions, very lengthy sessions,
Yeah.
that ran, if not 20 hours, like, well on into the teens. And just didn't sleep.
Yeah,
Or
to
much
be
longer
fair,
than he should have.
Pot has such resilience, because I could not do that. I once
Well, yeah, you
streamed
saw-
for 8 hours and I was like, nope, I'm done.
6 hours yesterday killed me,
Yeah.
because I am coward. Don't even smoke crack. Is this going to be a bone?
Ribs.
Yep.
Okay, and I cannot go up more.
Good catch. So it looks like we're going to have to fight the bell ringer, right?
Oh,
Unless we
well.
want to use the lever. Most of the enemies here, aside from those hounds with the ritual altars on their backs, don't seem that bad.
Yeah, they're okay.
Ah,
Alright.
we've ascended. Thanks, sad grandpa. What are those?
I don't know, but their pee-pee's out.
Some kind of PP Valkyrie, then.
Valkyro.
Shelby says the longest I played offline was Ghost of Tsushima for 16 hours. Woo!
Oh, wow.
I want to say I've beaten that offline, especially like in my youth.
Yeah, me too. Like, especially with MMOs, like Guild Wars 2, I could play in like 20+ hour spans, like without sleeping or whatever.
Kingdom Hearts 2, I think I put some serious work in on. Y'all ain't gonna believe this, but like something I've spent an entire day or a couple days on. Final Fantasy 13-2.
Oh,
One of
wow.
my favorite AAA RPGs over the past couple of console generations. I've killed entire weekends with that thing. In Dust We Trust says 16 hours. Guess my Dota hours. Oof.
Oy.
You got me intimidated. Schnaufy has 72 hours. Oh no, Schnaufy, that'd kill you, man.
Would it?
Not literally, likely, as long as you have water, but it would exhaust you.
True.
There's not a doubt about that. So I don't know where we're going, or which boss we're heading towards. There's like an archbishop, and there's a flagellant holding the other masks.
Okay, so I think that this was the shortcut, so we can avoid this entire part. Yeah.
Dust We Trust says not even close. Man, don't do stuff like that to yourself. Come on, what's the record then? How
Okay,
long
can you?
have you stayed up playing a MOBA?
We should Google like
10,
what's
10K. You mean the hours you
in
put in
total.
total?
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, sure. Like a competitive game with a long shelf life, that's normal. It's a
Yeah.
lot still. It's like commendable, but that's typical for really dedicated players, right?
yeah.
I don't know that I've put
Beppo, I see you, but
fraction
we're
of
not
that
going
into
now.
most games, but
Okay, this
Industrial
is-
says, "Oh, you were talking about hours at one day, right?
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. How many
In
how many
one
hours
sitting.
we've played? Yeah, in a single sitting, because Dance and Pot has played or did play a lot of Dark Souls 2 in one run without sleeping. Away I go. Let's see. Schnaufy says, my former roommate played Dark Souls a whole weekend without sleep, Friday to Monday, but he was mostly on speed. Ah, I see. Don't take any of these stories as aspirational, kids. Anybody out there in the audience? Oh, no, it's a pair of the first boss.
And I have
Meaning-
no health.
It's the first squared, which means it's still just the first.
God damn it, Brady.
Yeah, you weren't expecting math humor from me, were you? Shit!
Are you drunk?
No, I've just been inside for 18 months straight, and I'm simultaneously very tired, very agitated, and very, very, like, isolated. I think I'm going insane, and you guys are helping to prolong that process, fending it off as long as is possible.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut the stream short because this little beast wants to go pee-pee. And since
I
we're like
see.
half an hour anyways before the end of the stream, I think this is an okay place to stop. Let's see who we can read.
Dr. Nefariously Handsome says, I've beaten Dark Souls 3 2.5 times, DS1 once, and Bloodborne twice. And Schnaufy asks, have you ever fallen asleep while playing with a controller in your hands? Oh, God, no.
Oh yes, I have playing Animal Crossing.
Okay, yeah, Animal Crossing would do it to you. Did you know that T-Pain recorded a song about Animal Crossing from the perspective of Tom Nook? So now, my canon voice for Tom Nook is T-Pain. I cannot see him without thinking about like one of the most ostentatious R&B stars of the 2000s.
All right, we are gonna go say hi to my friend Sam, who is playing World of Warcraft right now. And I will see you, well, maybe tomorrow if Brady's gonna stream Psychonauts.
Probably not Psychonauts, since I've already done a ton off-screen, but maybe I'll step in with No More Heroes, or Potato can show us some more Dark Souls 3.
All right, well, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Take care, y'all.